Emotions. We all got them. Let's learn about them.
Emotions can be a very tricky subject. A lot of people don't want to face emotions. A lot of people don't know how to understand the different faces of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You can be happy, you can be sad, you can be mad, you can be anxious, you can be nervous, you can be depressed. There's so many things tied to emotions, Leslie, let me tell you. I know. And the hardest thing is, are they healthy? Are emotions normal? Do people understand emotions? We're here to help with that.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a spectrum of emotions. Some people might call them a circle of emotions because you have happy emotions and then sad, and then you have frustrated, you have angry emotions. And emotions run a gamut.
Mm-hmm.
Many types of emotions. The unfortunate thing is like people run from emotions. They hide from their emotions. They repress their emotions instead of working with their emotions, because emotions serve a valuable function. There's a term called emotional intelligence. That's where I specialize, because you feel emotions, not only thinking thoughts, but you feel emotions, and sometimes we don't know where those emotions come from.
I agree.
They can be subconscious emotions. They can be emotions from our childhood. They can be emotions from a trauma that we've experienced in our lives.
So true, because I know I've dealt with a lot of emotions in my life.
And we don't know where they come from.
At all. Because so many things have happened. You don't know, okay, I'm crying right now. Why am I crying? Is it because of a hurt from the past? Is it because I didn't have the attention I needed? What is deep down, what is that emotion? And a lot of people will tell you, well, I'm a male. You a man, you don't cry. Well, that's not true. Every person feels something, regardless of who you are, male, female, trans, whatever you choose to be. It is a perfectly healthy process to have emotions.
Mm-hmm.
I pick up on a lot of emotions.
Oh, yes.
I can go from 0 to 100 real quick with my anger.
With the anger.
But I can go from 100 to 0 real quick with my sadness. And with 100, I mean, oh, I'm feeling great. And then 0 being, I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
Am I bipolar? No. But emotions are something that each human has.
Yes.
It is safe to be emotional. It's normal to be emotional. No one can take your emotion away from you.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell you this is how you need to feel, because we all feel different in each situation.
Correct.
And emotion is the body's natural response to everything.
Right.
Emotion is what the body signals. When you are happy, the body's telling you, okay, here's your little zap to your nerve of happiness. There you go.
Right.
When you cry, we don't know what happened. It's almost like you could be in a situation where, for instance, your son, he got emotional over the lost dog.
Oh, Harper, my
on
daughter.
YouTube.
Oh, yes, my son. My daughter lost a teddy bear, but we're talking about something else.
He watched a video on YouTube where a dog got lost.
Oh, yes. A puppy got lost.
A puppy got lost.
Yes.
It wasn't his puppy.
And no, it wasn't his puppy.
But he felt the sorrow of it.
He sure did.
He felt for the
cried.
people. He was crying. Emotions are normal. We all feel them in one way or another.
Yeah.
You shouldn't hide from them. You shouldn't mask them.
Yes.
You shouldn't throw them away, and you shouldn't disregard your emotion.
Correct.
Don't hold it in just because someone says, oh, you shouldn't be sad.
Or they're
you should be mad."
inconveniencing me.
Yeah, they're not an inconvenience. They're a sign showing you something's happening.
Yes, correct. Something's happening from within you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, sometimes people can go through perfectly normal life situations and still feel bad. There's a disconnect there. I talk about this in my book, The Money Formula, specifically for money, but this can happen in many different areas. For example, you could be in a loving relationship, but yet you still feel like you're not at peace. You could still feel that you're not worthy of love. And the emotions could be rage, confusion, emptiness. You could feel a variety of things. I always say the clear example, for example, this association with money is a lot of people, whether they're rich or not, will swipe their credit card into the terminal and feel bad instantly. Do they know why? No, they don't. Now, you could have everything under the sun. I know somebody who's very, very wealthy, mansion, Tesla X, had lunch with her and she said, oh, I like the premise of your book because I got a lot of money. I'm rich, but I still feel poor. those feelings, those emotions that we have, they are very important to us. They're indicators that there's something that is incongruent with who we are and our concept of ourselves and what we believe life to be. And it's important that we go on that journey to explore that. Now, we're just scratching the surface. We're not going into a massive lecture about this, but we're exploring the surface of we shouldn't deny emotions, we shouldn't repress emotions, we shouldn't hide emotions, and we should not be dishonest about our emotions.
When you're dishonest about your emotions, it leaves a lot of pent-up feelings. That's the problem. When you get in a fight with somebody but you say, no, I'm fine, you're really not fine. I know that feeling because I've been there, done that. When people say, how you feeling? And you say, I'm good, you're feeling some type of way. It's easier to express those emotions than it is to hide those emotions.
Correct.
And I know this very deeply because I am a hider.
Uh-oh.
I'm a closet crier.
Oh.
I'm a closet anger. There's a lot of things that I don't like to express because I've had a lot of trauma from the past come up. I was abused as a child, sexually and physically.
Well.
And I normally would never admit this openly to anybody, but I feel like it's time for me to be a light to the people.
100.
And so 100, lit. But I was physically and sexually abused as a child. And I used to always mask it. I never wanted people to know exactly what happened. But the older I got and the more intense the feelings got about it, it started to get worse and worse and worse inside of me. I started to feel like it wasn't until I was 15 that I told my dad that I was beat as a 5-year-old by an ex-wife.
Oh.
It wasn't until I was 15 that I told my dad that my mom's husband was molesting me for years. I hadn't said anything to anybody because I was scared.
Yeah.
Because that emotion you felt, not everybody is going to feel. Not everybody's going to understand. Not a lot of people have been in that situation. But I had to stop hiding from it because it made me feel sick on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
It made me feel like, if I can't express myself with this, then what can I express myself with? Or what are people going to do to me if I cry about it or if I get this off my chest? Are people going to make fun of me? Are people just going to look at me different? And that's what I learned. I needed to express myself. I cried to my dad. My dad is a manly man. My dad has helped me through numerous trials and tribulations in my life. My dad has always dusted my knees off when I fell down. My dad's always picking my chin up and popping those shoulders up and says, you just keep walking. You know what I mean? So for me to be able to say, I know what you're going through. I feel it. I haven't expressed my emotions all the time. That's 100% a feeling because each and every person lives in their own way each and every day.
Yeah.
Some people have kids. Some people have families. I have a dog, so I can cry freely with my dog. Now, when I'm in a relationship, it depends on the mood. It depends on the person. But as much as you have emotions, you have to understand people around you have those emotions.
Correct.
You have to be willing to receive them, but not take them personal. You have to be able to listen, but understand that it's not your problem.
Right.
You have to be willing to say, okay, I understand you're feeling this way, but why? Let's talk about it. But don't burden yourself. Don't go home and say, well, darn, my best friend was crying about this, now I feel bad. You have to understand your own emotions to be able to help somebody understand their emotions.
Well, we feel emotions when we see somebody going through something we can't control.
Mm-hmm.
You know, having coached for 13 years, I've heard horrifying stories, some of them that will probably never leave my mind. And the thing is that you can't let those things that you hear from other horror stories affect you either. And because we're empathetic people, because we feel and we empathize with other people, we have to remember that understanding how we feel is a way of learning about ourselves and our lives. Because injustices do happen in life. We're not sugarcoating and saying, eye for an eye, it's your karma, I'm just spiritually bypassing the injustices and the unfair things that happen to children and people in the world. We're looking at this and saying, you experienced something traumatic, and that traumatic is manifesting itself as an emotion and maybe some scary thoughts. And the key to is you know what? You can change those memories. You can go back and imagine during those moments of being abused, the police bust in and take that person. Or maybe you imagine kicking that person away from you. You can rewrite your past. You can change how you feel about a situation. And you can change how you feel about a memory. And that's an important tool to have. It's like with my own child when he was crying about the dog being lost. We said, cry, go ahead and feel sad. Was that even a real situation? A lot of people would probably say, that wasn't even real, it's all fake. But the emotion generated was real because he saw the image of loss. And he can empathize with that. A 5-year-old boy can empathize with the feeling of loss. And it's okay to express those emotions. It's important to talk about your experiences, but more importantly, you have the power to go back and to change those experiences in the past, which is what I've premised the money formula on, and go back and extract the of it so you can feel differently. Because you can think and feel differently about any situation in your life. You don't have to keep replaying the old memory and saying, I'm a victim. Because I've grown up in neglect. I've grown up in abuse, verbal abuse, neglect, abandonment, poverty. I understand all of these things. And yet, for some reason, I do not let all those things define me. And don't get me wrong, there have been times where I've gone and worked and puked 3 times, got on stage and performed, and I didn't know where my emotions were coming from. I didn't understand. But I couldn't deal with it then. I had to suck it up, get on that stage, get what I was being paid for, give what I was getting paid for, and then go home right away and work with a coach on it to start figuring out where did that come from? Why was that happening? It's okay to admit that you feel sick, that you feel angry. And one book I recommend is called Facing the Fire. I think the author is Shad Helmstetter. And in Facing the Fire, he says a lot of people repress their rage. They repress anger, they repress rage. And a good way of getting that out, I call it the beat stick. We have a bamboo stick. My husband practices modern arnis, which is a modern Filipino martial art. I take the beat stick, go outside to the mat when I'm feeling really angry. This is for real. This is my truth. I take this beat stick, take a pillow on the lounger in the backyard, and I would beat the crap out of that pillow until I did. Sometimes my arms get so sore because I have to get that rage out.
It's important.
Who am I going to take that rage on? Because the energy is in your system. It has to go somewhere.
And it's not coming from your family.
Are you going to yell it out? Are you going to internalize that rage and into a cancer or a tumor or sick? Are you going to have diarrhea? Are you going to turn it into sleepless nights? That energy has to go somewhere.
She gotta go.
She gotta go. So I take the beat stick and I beat the pillow until I can't be angry anymore.
And horses are my way out of emotions. Horses help me express myself. They help me come to terms with things. They help me push through with things. So yet again, it's finding your happiness to help you through these. Speaking it to the universe, because your emotions are only natural reactions. Speak to the universe what's going on. Be able to accept and move forward. Know your surroundings and how they trigger you. And enlighten yourself. The biggest thing is when you're feeling emotional, enlighten yourself. Know that this is a healthy thing to do, cry. I mean, when I don't cry, I get a massive headache. When I get mad at a driver and I start screaming, I get a headache because I want to cry. And it's just natural for the body to let go of it. They even say tears are toxins that are coming out. So cry it out. Let that waterfall come out.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of your emotion. Whether you're happy, you're sad, you're depressed, you're anxious, you're nervous, whatever it is, it's a natural emotion. It's a natural reaction to the situation.
Yes.
So my question to you guys is, do you express your emotions? Do you hold it in? When do you feel the most emotional? Is there anything you can manifest to get rid of some of the emotions? Is there a way you can enlighten yourself with emotions?
Yes.
And are you surrounded by the right things to understand your emotions?
Correct. Emotional intelligence is a key component to the healthy adult life. And it should start young. We should start teaching our children young to understand their emotions and to not judge their emotions. Oh, I don't feel good. This is bad. I don't feel good. What does this mean? How is this trying to help me? It's a different dialogue. We'll encourage you to have that with yourself. ever heard someone say, same crap, different day?
Every day. My dad says it.
I think my brother says that. Think about that for a second. Same crap, different day? Really?
It's negative.
It is negative.
It's very uninspiring.
But what does that make you do? It makes you anticipate
Something bad happening.
more crap.
Because if I held my past against me, I know you and I would not be on this couch right now.
A new situation. How can we get new situations if we're replaying old situations in our mind?